You have a president that does not understand small businesses.
He does understand.
You have a president that does not understand small businesses, and they operate as Subchapter S, LLC corporation. They use their personal income tax rate. So when you continue to talk about raising taxes on people who are out there trying to do the one simple thing, open those closed storefronts. Come up with a new idea. Come up with a new business. Hire these people here all across our great country, especially in a state like Florida where we still have an unemployment that is higher than the national average. But I will tell you, as Dick Morris talked about, our national average is not 8.2%. We've got some 13 million Americans that are out of work. We've got some 8 to 9 million Americans that are underemployed on part-time. We've got 1 to 1.2 million Americans that no one's even counting. That's the sad thing, that Americans don't matter, that we just drop them off of the rolls so that we can manipulate numbers to make it seem as though we're doing something productive. That's not how this country should be. And if I'm crazy for standing up against that, well then doggone it, I will continue to be as crazy as I can be. A week ago, on Monday, the President circumvented the appropriations process of the United States Congress, and really he doesn't too much understand the Constitution with these co-equal branches of government and separation of powers. You know, as a matter of fact, I tried to send an email to him to try to explain this whole thing about judicial review. Marbury versus Madison, established in 1803, been around for 209 years. Some almost 150 cases have been seen. But the President took $500 million of American taxpayer money and he sent it over to the IRS to hire 4,000 new IRS agents as part of the Patient Protection and Affordable Care Act. A Patient Protection and Affordable Care Act that we know as Obamacare, that you were told was only going to cost $940 billion. And now we found out the price tag is $1.76 trillion. That's kind of crazy if you ask me. But it's even worse. No one's talking about the 11 new taxes that are part of the Patient Protection and Affordable Care Act. Are we really talking about reforming and repairing the healthcare system? You have a 3.8% capital gains tax that's hidden in there. You know something that I know a lot of folks down here in South Florida like to do? They even got a tanning tax. Tell you what, y'all seen Speaker Boehner? He ain't happy about that tanning tax. But ladies and gentlemen, this is how insidious it is. And this is what I have to ask my friends from the other side. What is your vision for the future of this country? What is it that you want to hand off to our children and grandchildren? Do you want to hand off a diminished country? Do you want to hand off a country that goes from 16 trillion in debt to 26 trillion in debt? Do you want to hand off a country whose debt to GDP ratio right now will never be below 100%? Do you want to hand off an America that has a diminished global impact and influence? Do you want to hand off an America that will be a shadow of itself? I guess when we heard about fundamentally transforming the United States of America, now we know what that means. My challenge to you is very simple. You choose what future you want for this great nation. I know what future I want. I want the exact same future that my parents accepted on 7 February of 1961 when I was born. A future that meant we would not succumb to a bureaucratic nanny state, because, as Thomas Jefferson said, a government that is big enough to give you everything that you want is also big enough to take it away. But that's what the president wants. He wants to take more of your money so that he can grow this federal government by 53% over the next 10 years. And don't tell me I'm crazy, because I read his budget, his fiscal year 2013 budget, which, tell me why it failed 0 to 414 in the House. Tell me why his fiscal year 12 budget failed 0 to 97 in the Senate. Because it is not a blueprint for success for the United States of America. As you leave here today and you get ready to turn in your taxes, understand that next January, if we continue down this path, the largest tax increase the United States of America has ever seen will begin in January of 2013, unless you make the decision and understand what is the future you want to see. As you sit here today, do you want to be that first generation of Americans that will leave less to subsequent generations? I have to tell you very simply, it's a moral decision. If you can look at your children, if you can look at your grandchildren and say, I'm not working so that you can have a bright future, then you will have just snapped the DNA of the American patriot. You will have just said that we will not pass on the genome of liberty, freedom, and democracy to the next generation. You will have just said that it's okay that America ends up going down the path of Portugal, Italy, Ireland, Greece, or Spain with an economic collapse that looms before us. But I want to believe that even those people that are here that think they can, you know, these guys got to be serious. They can't intimidate me. Come on. Even those people that are here that believe something different, I want to believe that between now and November the 6th, that they will look at themselves in the mirror and they'll say, I was wrong. I don't need an apology. I don't need you to come begging. And I don't hate you. I absolutely feel sorry for you. I feel sorry because for whatever reason, your parents did not instill in you the values and principles that make this nation great, that make this nation acceptable. So whatever reason, your friends that you hang out with don't get you to challenge and understand the greatness of this country, that don't get you to understand that when those stars and stripes fly, they fly because men and women all over this great globe are standing as watchmen on the walls for each and every one of you. I think Winston Churchill said it very succinctly. He said, Americans will eventually do what is right after they have tried everything else. We tried the Hopi changing. It is not in concert with our constitutional conservative principles and values. But each and every one of us must understand that it is about limited government that is effective, efficient, and fiscally responsible. It is about individual sovereignty. It is about our free market. It's about our traditional cultural values, and it's about a very strong national defense. Amen. And anyone that believes in things other than that, they have failed to understand the essence of what it means to live in the greatest nation that the world has ever known and have the greatest title that the world has ever known, an American. May God bless you all, and may God keep these great United States of America. Thank you. Alan West, everybody.